Chapter 5. The Emperor and the Crystal Oracle. The rain ceased just before his arrival, as if Britain's grey skies themselves held their breath at the imperial presence. Publius alias Hadrianus Augustus, Hadrian, did not arrive with Trajan's crushing pomp, but with the restrained efficiency of a man who had traversed every corner of his vast empire and was no longer easily impressed by remote provinces. He was accompanied not only by elite praetorians, whose polished segmentata gleamed even under the dim light, but also by a small retinue of Stoic philosophers, trusted military engineers, and a pair of impassive-faced Greek physicians. He dismounted near the guarded perimeter, a middle-aged man with a neatly trimmed beard and penetrating eyes that seemed to take in everything: the mud, the weathered faces of the 9th legionaries, the palpable tension in the air. He dispensed with formalities, addressing Vitruvius Pollio directly, then Marcus Flavius, whom he recognized from previous reports, as a reliable centurion. "Show me," he ordered simply, his voice calm but carrying an absolute authority that made raising it unnecessary. The descent into the shaft was conducted with a blend of imperial protocol and practical necessity. Additional torches were lowered, but their yellow, flickering light was swiftly swallowed by the blue glow suffusing the lower chamber. Marcus watched the emperor's feet touch the unnaturally smooth floor. Hadrian displayed neither surprise nor overt fear. He stood motionless for a long moment, his gaze slowly sweeping the curved walls, the symbols that seemed to writhe on the edge of vision, finally coming to rest on the central crystalline structure. The subsonic hum filled the silence. It was more noticeable now. Perhaps the emperor's presence sharpened everyone's senses. Hadrian approached the artifact alone, extending a hand, not to touch, but as though measuring an invisible temperature or emission. Marcus saw the concentration on his face, that of a formidable intellect confronted with something radically unknown. It was neither the look of a soldier before a new weapon, nor that of a priest before an idol, but of a philosopher faced with the living refutation of his cosmology. "Dionysius of Alexandria," Hadrian called, without averting his eyes from the pulsing crystal. The Greek engineer stepped forward, nearly stumbling with excitement. He began to speak rapidly of geometry, possible energetic implications, theories of its nature. Hadrian raised a hand, not to silence him entirely, but to steer him. "Observable phenomena first, engineer. Show me what it does." Under Vitruvius's nervous supervision, they conducted the planned demonstrations. They brought forward a legionary with a deep forearm wound sustained during excavation 2 days earlier, and already showing signs of infection. With hesitation, following instructions inferred by Dionysius and the physicians, they held the injured arm a few inches from the crystal. The blue light seemed to intensify locally. The hum shifted in tone. Before the astonished eyes of all, save the impassive doctors, the torn flesh visibly contracted, the wound's edges drawing together as though invisible threads pulled them. In less than a minute, only a thin pink line remained where a purulent gash had been. The legionary examined his arm, flexing his fingers, his face a mask of disbelief. Hadrian watched without blinking, his expression inscrutable. Next, they brought 2 rough iron ingots. Following another tentative procedure, Dionysius adjusted a small makeshift control device connected to the base of the artifact by strange cables recovered near the shaft. A concentrated beam of nearly white light shot from the crystal and struck the ingots. There was a violent hiss, a blinding flash, and the iron melted instantly, flowing like hot wax before re-solidifying into a shapeless, gleaming mass. The residual heat was intense. Hadrian stepped forward to the cooling iron mass. He touched it with the tip of a gloved finger. Then he looked to Dionysius, then to Marcus, and finally to his engineers. A spark of unmistakable excitement lit his eyes, the first sign of overt emotion. It was not mere wonder, but the recognition of a power transcending all Rome knew. "This," he began, his voice barely above a whisper, "this is not of this world." He straightened, the philosopher's contemplation abruptly giving way to imperial decision. He turned to his engineers and smiths. "I want this replicated. I don't care how. I don't care what it costs. Dismantle whatever is necessary. Analyze every component. I want swords that never break, forged by this technique. I want armor lighter than silk, yet tougher than bronze. I want this light to illuminate every fortress along the limes." "Understood." The command echoed through the blue-lit chamber, sharp and final. Wonder had culminated, and in an instant, it transmuted into the Empire's pragmatic, ambitious will. The crystal oracle had spoken, revealing its miracles, and the Emperor of Rome responded not with reverence, but with resolve to master it. Marcus felt a chill that had nothing to do with the chamber's cold. The game had changed irrevocably. They had opened a box containing not only marvels, but perhaps a form of power no human empire was meant to wield. And the Emperor, the most powerful man in the known world, had just ordered that power unleashed.